It's my pleasure to have you again in today's class. Today's class will be taking the topic Agro-Allied Industries, and my name is Mr. Oloyede Solomon. Now, agriculture is very important to most of the aspect of human survival. Talk about medicine, talk about pharmacy, you talk about even engineering and construction and so many other aspects of science and technology. And that's the essence of this topic, agro-allied industries. There are so many industries that are dependent on the products of agriculture. And without these industries, the agriculture will not even be improved. And without agriculture, these industries will not be able to survive. And so there is a kind of relationship and interdependency between agriculture and so many industries across the world. So in today's topic, we'll be looking at definition of agro-allied industries. We'll be looking at the major raw materials that are used by agro-allied industries. We'll be looking at relationship between agriculture and industry. Okay, so what is agro-allied industry? These are agro-based industries that they are concerned with the production and processing of agricultural products. They include oil mills, seed processing units, even textile industries. But actually, agro-allied industries is exclusive of industry that produce agrochemicals. For instance, an industry that is involved in the production of animal drugs is not regarded as agro-allied industry. And so, some of the agro-based industries we have the oil mill, which produces oil seed. We have soap industry, which makes use of oil seeds. We have textile, which makes use of cotton. We have brewery industry, which makes use of cereals, and then we have the canning industry, which makes use of fruits, meat, and fish and milk. Now, the oil seeds that we have, like groundnut and soybean, and even melon, they are usually used for the production of oil with different processes, like the extraction process, and then the extraction process is used to remove the oils with so many procedure used to remove oils from the seeds. At the end of the day, what is gotten is referred to as seed cakes, which is fed to farm animals. We also have the textile industries, which make use of cotton. Apart from cotton, they also make use of wool. Then we also have the leather industry, which makes use of animal skin. Now, without all these, a farmer may just produce the soybean on his farm, he just produce groundnut on his farm, and it is useful for any other thing apart from direct human consumption. Now, apart from this, the industries also help to process the
gái nhìn ra bên phải đây giúp em á. Đấy, đúng rồi, kéo thế cho nó đẹp.
Now, for instance, you know the popular olive oil, industries. These industries are dependent on oil seeds. Now, the next one is paper industries, which make use of pulpwood. We have the sugar industries, which make use of sugar cane. We have the tire industries, which make use of rubber latex as the raw material. We have beverage industries that make use of coffee, cocoa, and tea. Most of you will have heard of we know Nestle, we know Cadbury. All these are beverage industries that rely on the products from cocoa farmers. We also have the Dunlop industries. We have the Bridgestone industries. These are tire industries that depend on the rubber latex that is gotten from the rubber tree. Now, there's also Dangote industries, which is the sugar making industries, which depends on sugar cane from farmers. Now, the processing of sugar is a very complex one that has to do with a lot of processes. Now, the first stage of process for in every industry is the harvesting. After the products are already mature, the farmer needs to harvest it. After harvesting, there's also sorting and After sorting, the product needs to be taken to the factory for conversion. Now, a relationship between industries and agriculture, we have provision of market, provision of food, provision of raw materials, provision of storage and processing facilities. Now, agriculture provides markets for industries, okay, and then industry also provides market for agriculture. That is, whatever the farmer produces is being sold to so many factories. For instance, you can see in the video here we have a cassava. Now, it is everybody's belief in Nigeria that cassava is only used to produce things like cassava baggage, like cassava starch, like garri. Okay. But in other countries, and even so many parts of Nigeria, cassava is used to make gum, industrial gum. Cassava is also used to make alcohol, just like other cereals are used to make alcohol. You can see in the video here we have textile. The plates are already finished, but the procedure started from cotton. So when again, that's to tell you that agriculture provides raw materials for textile industry. So without agriculture, the textile industries cannot survive. Because of this, so many industries in Nigeria are very faded, because we now depend mostly on importation of this produce. So many farmers are no longer producing some certain products, and for this reason we have to depend on the importation of these products from overseas. All right, now I have included a video that will explain the conversion of sugarcane to sugar in the industry. Happy viewing.
These machines harvest the cane by cutting it at the base. The heavier lengths of cane drop into the base of a conveyor, which feeds them into the transport bin that follows alongside. At the mill, trucks empty their load onto a receiving table. It feeds a belt conveyor that takes the cane through 2 separate washes. The cane must be as clean as possible for extracting the juice. But first, the cane's hard structure is broken down inside this crusher, where rotating hammers break the cane into small pieces. A conveyor loads it into a milling tandem designed to extract the sweet juice from the crushed cane. In this milling tandem, the cane passes through a series of 5 or more consecutive mills. Large cylinders compress the cane fibre. The juice pours out of the milling tandem and diverts into a channel away from the bagasse, the dry pulp that remains after extracting the juice. A worker supervises the operation at each of the mills. A vat collects the juice that flows from the top and bottom of the mills. Now that the juice is extracted from the sugar cane, it's time to process it. However, before it's turned into sugar crystals, a sample goes through a series of tests at the sugar mill's laboratory. They add a thickener that binds to impurities in the juice and then filter it to make it clear and clean. Then it's poured into a polarimeter, a machine that measures the concentration of sugar. The juice from the mills now falls through this 10-meter high tower as sulfur dioxide vapors rise through it. This process, known as sulfitation, bleaches the juice. Then it flows through a device that measures its pH level. While at a separate vat, workers add powdered lime to water, preparing a solution to which they will then add the juice. An agitator mixes the cane juice and lime solution for about 6 hours to complete a process called alkalization. It regulates the juice's pH level and helps clarify it. In reaction to the lime, the juice's colour changes from brown to yellow. Next, the juice goes into these clarifier tanks. It takes over 2 hours for the juice to settle and for the impurities to fall to the bottom of the tank. A sample taken from the tank shows how the sludge collects at the bottom, while the clarified juice collects at the top. There's still quite a way to go before it's transformed into the stuff that goes into your tea. Workers filter the residue, known as mud, from the clarifier tanks to extract any remaining sugar. There's no waste here. The mud will fertilize the cane fields, and the bagasse left over will be burned as fuel. The clarified juice collected from the clarifier tanks now boils in a series of evaporators. This brings the concentration of the sugar in the juice up from 15% to 60%. Then the juice collects in 15-ton tanks to clarify even more. Any sediment left in the juice floats to the top. A rotating paddle skims this residue off to the sides of the tank. These tanks produce a type of syrup that goes on for still more processing. Workers now pour sucrose crystals suspended in alcohol into the syrup. This milky solution binds to the sugar present in the syrup and helps draw it out. Next, it all boils in large vacuum pans, forming sugar crystals. As the water in the syrup boils away, workers regularly check to see how the sugar is crystallizing. The goal? To produce a thick crystallized paste known as masquite. It then goes into a high-speed centrifugal machine to remove the sugar crystals from the uncrystallized syrup. Inside, the sugar spins at 1,200 revolutions per minute. This action draws the molasses to the outer shell of the machine, while the crystals remain in the inner basket. Sprays of water wash the crystals, then the water is drawn out so only the crystals remain. This centrifuge draws out moisture from the sugar just like a washing machine on spin cycle dries your clothes. Next, a conveyor belt carries the sugar crystals out of the centrifuge. This mill produces raw sugar, which has more molasses and is unbleached, and plantation white sugar, which has less molasses and is bleached a brilliant white. The sugar on the conveyor now goes into a large dryer. Hot air blows into this dryer to bring the sugar's humidity level down to 0.02%. That's standard for table sugar. The dried sugar pours out from the dryer into a bag on a scale. It's full when it weighs in at 1,000 kilos. A hoist then carries the bags to a platform at the far end of the packing facility. At 3,000 kilos, that is a heavy load. It lowers each bag over a chute that leads to the factory's main floor. Workers carefully open each bag in turn and pour out the sugar directly into the chute. It feeds an automated packaging machine which fills a series of 2-kilo plastic bags, seals them and separates them. This packing facility produces 200,000 bags every day. That means processing 400 tons of white sugar daily.
So welcome back. That is just a short clip on how sugar granulated sugar is being produced. There are so many procedures, so many processes that are involved in production of sugar. The same thing applies to the production of oil palm. The production of oil palm is so laborious, it's so complex, and that's why industries like Okomu Oil, they make use of machines to make sure the procedure is quite less tasking, less laborious for their workers. For instance, in the production of oil, palm oil, it starts with harvesting, as you can see in the picture, and then there is a series of procedures that has to do with cooking and so many parts. Now, there's also other industry that I didn't mention earlier, and that is the meat industries. The meat industry is quite a risky business, unlike the crop industry. Now, the crop processing industries, because crop rarely go to waste, unlike meats that are highly perishable. Crops like oil palm, like some other fruit like grains, because they have less moisture, they are less perishable. But products like meat, like egg, are highly perishable. Thank you so much for watching. Do have a wonderful time. Bye.